Did you know that 80% of consumers are more likely to buy from a brand that they feel connected to? Now, imagine if your brand had a community of people that not only love what you do, but actually promote and engage and buy from you consistently. We would all love that from day dot. It does take time to grow. But today I'm actually going to be talking about the challenges that we have when it comes to building a brand, and especially a brand that is based on your community loving you from scratch. So I'm actually going to break down the exact steps that you can do to make that happen. Hey, Hey, I'm Nikki Kelly, and if you want to build a business that thrives, you need a community that loves your brand. It's not just about customers, but it's really and truly about your fans. People that really appreciate what you're doing, can see where you're going, and just want to stick with you. And that really is a loyal community. And that means people that are in there that are more engaged, there's higher retention, and people are actually spreading the word about you for free. But how do you actually make that happen? Well, stick with me because today I'm actually going to be revealing 5 key strategies. And these strategies will help you build, a community that will hopefully become obsessed with you and your brand. Most businesses struggle to create a real connection with their audience. Quite naturally so, right? And because of this, we tend to spend more money on marketing and ads and just pushing out social media, right? And that's all perfectly well and good. But there is an element they're missing. And this is why I constantly talk with my clients and people who are using our platform. Don't just think that pushing that information out there is all you need to do. You need to put yourself out there. You need to actually create a real bond between your brand, which is you, and the audience that you're trying to attract. So without a strong community, you'll constantly be chasing customers instead of actually attracting them more naturally. So the worst part, the result of that is when customers don't feel connected, they will actually leave within a moment, right? And if they find a competitor that can resonate with more, they're gone. So your aim is really to try and make sure you have that connection. So how do we flip this around, right? How do we actually make sure that we can build that connection? Well, I'm going to share with you the 5 keys to build a community that will genuinely love your brand. And we've been doing this for the past 3 years as we've been building up our Wisdom brand. We have a core set of, ethics, and we have a consistency in how we, are available to our users and so forth. And all of our users, I can tell you today, are our advocates. We bring in more and more customers because they are so connected with us and they can see what we're doing. So I'm sharing these with you. Now, the first thing that you can do is define your brand's core identity. Now, before people can love your brand, they actually need to understand it, right? So you've got to ask yourself a couple of questions here, right? And there's 3 questions that I get you to really think about. What do you actually stand for? That's the first question. The second question is, what is your brand's actual mission? And I know this is a common thing. It's like, what's your mission? What's your vision? And so forth. But really think about it, because when people are aware of what your brand's mission is, they can jump on that journey with you because they can see where you're going. And then the last question is, what's your personality and voice? What are you actually trying to share, perceive, lifestyle, etc.? Think of brands like Apple, Nike, and Glossier, right? These communities they're not just built around the products themselves, right? They're actually built around a shared vision, a shared lifestyle. So if you want people to jump on board with you to have that connection, you need to share that. So think of those 3 questions. What do you stand for? What's your brand's mission? And what's your personality and voice? Okay, the second strategy, speak their language and be relatable. I've mentioned this so many times to people. No one wants to engage with anyone or a brand that feels like robotic, built out of AI, or very corporate speak, right? There's so many people out there, and I get it, right? We fall into an industry lingo and we will, do the whole corporate speak thing. Don't. Be human. Be relatable. Speak the way your audience speaks. Speak as if though you're talking to a friend about what it is that you love and that you're passionate about. If your audience is young and casual, don't be afraid to be fun and playful. And on the other side of it too is if your audience is professional and they're serious, well, tailor your message accordingly, right? But think about, there's a brand, obviously Wendy's, right, which is on Twitter. Their actual casual and witty tone is what has turned them into a social media powerhouse. They really and truly connect with their audience because they just keep it light and fun. Okay, so the third strategy is really concentrate on fostering engagement and conversations. It's not just a one-sided thing here. You're trying to build a community. You're trying to build, yes, we say audience, and audience are people who we are one way directing, entertaining. But what we're really trying to build here in the end is a community. And it's not just about followers who are following you around and watching you. It's all about actually making connections, right? So there are a couple things that you should ask yourself when you're thinking about the community that you're trying to really engage with. And one of them is, are you starting conversations, or are you just posting content and hoping for the best, right, from these people? Really try and start conversations. And yes, at the start, you may get crickets, but think about how you're asking those questions. Are you asking a question that will help them envision what it is that you're asking and put them in that same situation, and therefore go, oh, I get what they're saying. Yes. And then go and answer the question. Another one is, do you reply to comments and messages? Sometimes we post things, we get DMs and so forth, and we forget them, and then a month later we're like, don't do that. So make sure you are interactive. Answer those comments. They don't have to be massive comments. They could just be simply, thank you so much. I hope you really did enjoy that, or whatever it is, right? Another thing that you can think about and asking yourself is, are you actually creating spaces for your actual audience to connect with each other? And yes, that's where, platforms like Wisdom come in, where you can bring people in together, like-minded people who would be interested to learn from each other, learn from your content, etc., etc. But what you really do want to do is create a space, and especially with how noisy and how busy the online spaces are these days, creating a space that is secure is the number one element here. You really want to make sure that your audience feels comfortable as well to really come out of their shell and help with feedback and learning, etc., etc. So creating a space is really important to make sure that you can help your audience not only connect with you, but with each other. An element to this is that great brands really don't talk to their audience. They talk with them. They have conversations. So here's a little action that I would love you to take from watching this video, and that is, try hosting some Q&A sessions. Try posting up some polls, or even creating a challenge. And this can really encourage people to engage back with you, because what happens is, there's two-sided elements here. What you get out of that challenge is seeing specifically what people are really interested in, where their pain points are, and what they need help with. And on the other side, from your audience or your community that you're trying to build, they're actually getting little wins out of this. They're actually feeling like, one, they're being heard, but two, they're actually being answered as well, or being directed at least to the next point to get towards their solution. So really think about, what can you do next to actually talk with your audience? The fourth strategy is all about giving your community a reason to stick around. Now, why should someone stay connected to your brand beyond just buying your products? What is it that you can offer them? Do you offer exclusive content or insider perks? Can you give sneak peeks on, new projects that you've got coming? And that is, again, one of those things, a part of your mission, helping people see where you're going so they can jump on board and travel along that journey with you. Can you create a private space, somewhere inside Wisdom, for example, where your audience can really interact personally and securely with each other? And so here's an example of a brand that's out there, Lululemon. They built a lifestyle community, and they're not just a clothing brand, right? There's a lot of brands out there, but this particular brand themselves, they actually host events and they provide wellness content. And by doing this, they're actually bringing like-minded people together, and that's what keeps that community coming back. It's beyond the actual product itself. There's always something else. There's always another conversation going on around. So that's just another element, or an example anyway, that you can use. So when you're creating a product, whether it be a digital product like a course or, membership, there's always other elements in there why people are actually connecting. So have a think of those things and brainstorm them. And this can help you create those extra exclusive contents or sneak peeks or even private spaces and chats that you can have with your community. So the fifth strategy is celebrate and involve your community. Now, what that means is showing those people that are a part of your community, the audience, that they are being seen. They love being seen and they love being valued. Who doesn't, right? So the more you actually acknowledge and celebrate your community, truly, the stronger their loyalty will become. And we can promise you this will be the case, especially as we've been building up our platform. Our platform has been building up for the past 3 years or so, but it hasn't actually been live for just over 2 years now. And the one main thing that we really want to say is we have grown because of the user-generated feedback that we have. So our features have grown, our functionality has grown because we listen to our users, their feedback. And by doing that, every time we've done a deployment of an upgrade and so forth, we celebrate it. We actually celebrate it with a walkthrough or workshop, whatever it is, an email, etc. We really recognize the people who are using our system. So giving shout outs to active members is another part of this. And the next part, if you can do this, is reward your most engaged followers. Give them special access to things, discounts, whatever it is, but really make people feel like they are the VIPs that they are. Because without them, they really are, with them, they're helping you build your brand and creating, an environment where other members can see, hey, this person loves this brand. Why? And then they will start loving the brand too, because they will start relating. There'll be someone else who's actually involved in that brand. And they're like, oh, I can hop on this as well. I can see it. So that is a true element with actually making sure that you really do celebrate and involve your community. An example to this is Starbucks or any coffee house really out there. They have seasonal drinks. And what they do is they actually build up a hype by letting customers know that they're going to introduce a flavor for that particular season. And they get their customers, consumers, whatever, to actually vote on the flavors and share their experiences of having them. So that is really a high level of community-driven marketing. And that element there is just showcasing how much you are listening to your consumers, but it's also letting your consumers know that you're delivering on what they actually vote for. So here's a real life case study, and it's on a product called Glossier. And Glossier went from being a beauty blog into a multi-million-dollar brand because of their community. And it was just crazy how much they grew. But the fact is, what they did is they first built a social brand. It was a social first brand, as we call it. And that basically meant that what they put out there, they were asking their audience what they thought. They were asking their audience how they felt about certain products and so forth. And it really created that personal touch element within their community. And then what they did is they actually encouraged their users to generate content with real customer reviews. And in the end, they actually created an all-inclusive, welcoming space for beauty lovers. So in that space alone, their customers aren't just buyers, they're actual advocates. And that's exactly what you need to build too. When it comes down to building a community, you are making that connection. You are making that brand of community that not just are like-minded, but they really and truly appreciate what you are doing to deliver and help whatever topic it is, your community. So let's recap. To build a brand-loving community, all you need to do is 5 things, right? And they really are not that hard to actually create, right? 1, define your core identity. 2, speak your audience's language. 3, create engagement and conversation in your community. And 4, offer value beyond just the products that you're offering. Seriously. And 5, celebrate and involve your community in your community. So loyal community means more sales. We know that. But what it really does mean is more advocacy. And it's a brand that people will genuinely love. So now it's your turn. What's the one thing that you think you can actually start doing today to build your brand's community? Drop it in the comments. I would love to hear your ideas or read your ideas anyway. And if you want to know more about branding or marketing tips, especially around building communities and sharing your knowledge, make sure to check out my other videos right here. We will be uploading more every week. And if we can, we'll try and do 2 as well. I would love for you to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications just so you never miss a new upload. And thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I am Nikki Kelly. I'm the founder of Wisdom, and I'm very, very passionate about communities and teaching and sharing your knowledge online. It is a huge passion of mine to make sure that knowledge is shared to all corners of the world. And this is just another way that I hope I can help people just realize it doesn't have to be that hard. Our ethos is keep it simple. So, like I said, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications just so you never miss a new upload. And we'll see you next time.